Okay, so welcome back to the studio. I'm about ready to prep this so that I can pour resin on it, but the first thing I have to do is make sure there's no silicone left on this. So what you're seeing that I put on here, see this? It's talcum powder. And I only just started painting with silicone this year and learned just about everything I know about it from Anne-Marie Reerhoff. If you've seen her videos, then you get it. But I learned actually how to do this from her. So you just get a good talcum. She has said don't buy ones that have perfumes and additives in them. For a couple of mine in the last couple of months, I've actually used like baby powder and it worked just fine. But if you can get straight talcum, I've heard people use cornstarch. I've heard a lot of different things, but talcum has worked really good for me. Just want to get it in all the grooves. You don't have to hurry. I also, you can't tell right because of the light in here, but there's an extra piece of plastic here so that when I'm done with this I can take it outside and shake it off and not have powder everywhere in my table. I'm also going slow because I don't want a lot of this out in the air. But I'll show you how I deal with that too when the time comes. So you just want to rub it in really good. Get the sides too because there is silicone on the sides. If there's paint on the sides, there's silicone on the sides. Just get it in there really good. And a lot of times I'll do this and let it sit for a little bit. Get a lot of this powder off my hands. But in the interest of time, instead of letting it sit, you can use a toothbrush, you can use, there's a lot of things you can use. But I like to use this. Just sweep it off like you would with a broom. If it looks a little lighter, it is, because there's still powder left behind on this, and we're going to get to that in a minute. Now this is a soft brush, but it's also got some weight to it, so it's not a Nancy. It's going to get the job done. You don't want a brush that's too coarse so that it scratches up your surface, and you don't want something so soft that it's not going to pick up the powder and get it off of here. Okay, I got most of that off. What I then do is take a clean, or the cleanest rag I have that's soft. This is a cotton studio rag that I have. And wipe it. That will help also knock down a little tiny bit of that, what I call Floetrol acne, those little bumps that you get. It won't take them all down, but it'll take some down. But if you're going to resin the top like I am, it doesn't even matter. Okay, so we wiped it off really good. Because I'm going to be resining this shortly, I don't want to put water right on the canvas, but I do want to slightly moisten this to get off the rest of the powder. I don't normally hold it over my canvas, but I'm doing this to show you. Just like that. And do it quick. You don't want it to sit anywhere because you don't want to reactivate the paint and start smudging it. Okay, I went back to the dry side. See there's a little blue on there for my painting? That's from the powder and the silicone that it soaked up. So the back side of the cotton rag that I'm using right now is the dry side. So I put a tiny bit of moisture on it and took it right back off. And that's how I prep my pieces for their next layer. That should have gotten most of the silicone. If not, I might have to do an extra layer, but I think we're okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this out now, get this plastic off, and get rid of it so that I can prep for the resin. You almost got to witness a murder on tape. I was prepping for this video and this huge fall, black, noisy, buzzy fly was in here, being a complete nuisance. I even was nice and went over and opened the door and the screen for him and said, look, this is your last chance. He actually took it. Smart fly. I wasn't worried about him getting my painting. I was more worried for him losing his life, so there's my good deed for the day. And while I was starting this and putting this in this cup, I spilt a little bit. I tried to wipe it off, but well, I've never spilt it and poured over it, so I hope it does okay. But it's also a little cooler in here than normal. And I've been stirring this for about 3 minutes and it's not quite ready yet. Your temperature in your room has a lot to do with it. Oh, but before I go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some clear in these, and I'm just going to add these to tint. A little bit of brown tint in this one, a little bit of blue in this one, so that I can put it in areas that I kind of want to, like this area back here, I want to bring this down a little bit. It's too bright. It's not matching the rest of this, so I'm going to put a little bit of this brown over it. You're not even going to really know it's brown. I'm just darkening it a little bit, smoky-like. With the blue, the same thing in some other areas. And then I'm going to do some ribboning with white and possibly with this blue. So that's where we're going as soon as I can get my resin mixed. Because I'm seeing a few areas where this silicone is making little pop marks. That's not going to be hard to fix, actually. Just need a little bit of resin. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put a little resin in here, a drop or two of silicone, and I'm going to mix it in. That was 2 drops. Now I'm either going to fix this or I'm really going to mess it up. Either way, another pour, another day. Oh, now they're kind of disappearing. Okay. Again, this is clear resin with a couple of drops of silicone mixed into it. You can't just put it on top and leave it here like this. You're going to have to mix it in with your hands. But it truly does work. Because you can't always get all of the silicone off. You can do your best job or your best try, but see, and I'm just sprinkling, I'm just going to layer whatever's left in here, I'm going to do this with. Just so that it's evenly distributed, so if there's any other areas that I couldn't see. Okay, so again, clear resin and silicone. And here come the hands again. And this is going to help me spread some of this color too. Just want to rub it in everywhere. Rub it in good. See, you can't even see the tinted resin anymore. Even though it is doing its job. It's It's doing what I want it to. You can see a couple of lines like right there. And that's fine. Okay, now we're going to go over it again and see how it dries, or how it levels. I'm still seeing some dents in places, but I don't see the canvas, so that's good news. Now with the white, if you can see that, I didn't 100% mix it in. I made a multi-level look to it, so I know what I want to do though. These white areas that I really like, that kind of come down through these veins and then they stop here and then it picks up here, I want to add to that and expand that. I want to do the same thing with this white run vein here that goes up to this. So that's what we're going to do here. At least that's what we're going to try and do. Oh, I'm digging this. A lot! Okay. So what I did was I started to loosen up these areas, and as they loosened up, I also moved them to uncover some of the areas that they were covering that I like. Because there's clear underneath it, and as the white parts, it'll hold that clear in there. I'm still looking for divots from silicone. I'm not really seeing any. Oh, I'm seeing one right here. It's not a big one, it's not showing the canvas, but if I have to put one more layer on this, I can. Alright, so let's torch. See, I'm not really painting over it, I'm just embellishing. I'm adding on to something that I already liked that did have some elements that I wasn't a fan of. So you try to highlight the parts you like and maybe gimmick or hide or even just bedazzle a little bit the spaces you don't necessarily like. Okay. Now I'm going to need to run down the sides to make sure I'm good there. I'm getting close to a half an hour on my time. I have a little timer on the side here that makes sure that I'm on track. So I'll put that in my description below because it's a good little timer and it's cheap. and it's big enough for me to read across the room. Alright. I really do like this. It almost looks like looking down at Earth a little bit, one of those. And this bright space down here that was a little too bright for me, with that brown, a little bit of brown tinted on that resin, it just knocked it down just enough for me to like it. So I'm going to pick up down here to get some stuff on the sides. It's important that you pay attention to your sides, because those little drips that you see there, if you just let those stay and you don't rub them down or use use anything on them, a stick or your hands or anything, they're going to dry that way. And you're going to have these jaggedy, drip-looking things on the side. If you like that, then great, but not so much a good thing. It's persnickety when you're trying to use it to cover too. It does kind of like to grab and stay in some places and not let you try and spread it in other places. So I'm almost there. I'm going to go back over it and warm the edges a little bit and the sides. Oh, gotta plug it in. I'm going to leave those sides covered evenly. Take the time. Take the time to go around everything and really touch it and look at it. Because it's so glossy that you're bound to miss something. And if you don't, at least you're being thorough. Alright, so I'm going to come get you so you can take a look at this. I'm kind of happy with this. More so than I thought I would be. And I was going to put some striations of blue in there, but I'm going to leave this alone. I like it the way it is. Okay, this is where we are today. I'm actually really happy with this. It kind of did almost exactly what I wanted. And in the areas where it didn't, I like what it did. So, very, very happy. Yeah, again, sorry about the lights as usual, but there's not a lot of saving I can do with that. I just like that misty, smoky look. Just over the top. It's accenting places I like, and it's kind of hiding places that I'm not that proud of. So in the end, working together, I love this. Some of the areas that are showing that I didn't want to cover. Let's see, where's it at? There's one. Just a beautiful area there. But now it kind of looks like, I don't know, looking down at Earth or something. So there we are for today. I'm going to call this one a success. I'm going to let this one dry. If there's any divots from the silicone, I'm just going to do another pour over the top like I did before. It'll be a sealing pour, but I've mixed enough silicone into the resin now that it should be fine. Even if there's a few dips, then if I put resin over the top of that, it should be just fine. So, woof! Loving it! Looks like boobies. Okay, we won't be doing that. Okay, I gotta go. We'll look at this tomorrow when it's dry. Kinda. And here we are, about 23 hours later. A beautiful glaze on this. Look at that, it's gorgeous. You're gonna laugh. I'm on a ladder across the room so I get as least amount of glare as possible on this, but then I want to get close to show you some details. Very happy with this piece. But after you pour your layer, that's when you go in looking for the details, and so I'll show you what I do now. First I need to get off this ladder. Oh, and yeah, those little notes that I've been putting throughout the video, because I've already decided I'm going to do that, I forgot the alcohol part of cleaning my substrate. You saw the talcum powder, you saw me wipe it off, but the next step should have been alcohol, and I forgot that. So yeah, that's why we had troubles with the resin hardening in some areas during the pour, and I'll show you where we are with those too. But yeah, you want to do a light, a misting of alcohol on a soft cloth and run it over that after you've cleaned it, after you've done the talcum powder, after you've wiped it off, after you've brushed it, after you've taken a little water to it. You want to go back over it with some isopropyl alcohol. The higher the percentage, the better. And then you won't run into those problems like I did. And I knew better. Alright, so let's come down here. Now the things I look for after I've done a pour like this, because yeah, you want to come back and have this be it. This be the finished piece, but this time it's not going to happen. And that happens a lot, because if you look into like right where the glare to the light is, you'll see where the imperfections are. There's a good one right there. See that? That little divot there? That's one of those little dimples that I got in an area where there was a little bit of silicone left over. And if you remember, I did take some fresh resin and add a little bit of silicone to it, mix it up and put it in these spots. It did help a lot. It's not down to the canvas, but those are still there. And if you look around, there's some more of them. Let's see, where did I find those? There's some up here, I know that. Some little ones. But you gotta get the glare to follow you. It follows me when I don't want it to, but when I want it to follow me, no, not so much. Alright, let's go up here. There they are. You can see the reflection of some of the dings in my lights, but what you want to look for is those little puckers, those little dimples. There's some there. Also, you want to look at your edging. And my edging on this side's looking pretty good. See how the line is straight when you look at the reflection? That's what you want. Now I'll show you a bad edge. If I can get it on camera. I got it earlier because there was light coming in from that window over there and it was able to show, but looking down this side, it's a little jaggedy. So basically what I'm doing now is just going around and paying really close attention to detail, looking in, using these lights as a way to find maybe little dimples here and there, or a piece of speck of dust that fell in, and that 600 grit sandpaper that I was using earlier, you can use that on those little, if you get a little dust bunny or something, just put a light little sanding over that and one more thin coat of resin and we should be good to go. One more thing that I am going to do as well is I use an electric hand sander, and because this edge is fine but this one isn't, I'm redoing them all, which just means I'm going to do a light sanding on this edge at an angle, just to give it a little bit of a beveled edge, and that resin will pour over a lot easier. So once that's done, this guy gets his final bath of resin and wiring and up on the wall. Thank you so much for your support. I really, really do appreciate it. When you click on those ads, when you like a video, when you share a video, when you subscribe to my channel, it means everything to me. So thank you again, and I have to go do another video now.